from wherever you're watching me around the world. It's 1800 hours. That is 6 p.m. Kenyan time. You'll just in a few moments the sun will go down, and and speaking of sunset, I will talk about the end of the house of Saul. And this chapter, for 2 Samuel chapter 4, is talking about the circumstances that led to David becoming the king of Israel, and also the death of Ishbosheth. Now, remember when Abner fell in the hands of David, um, there was terror all of Israel. It was Joab who delivered the last punch in the house of in the company of this man called Ishbosheth. So when Ishbosheth heard, let's read from chapter 4. When Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, heard that Abner had died in Hebron, he lost courage. Listen, he lost courage. And I was reading that part, and I was like, he really depended on Abner to be king. You see, there's the king, and then there's the hand behind the king. And when Abner fell, this man, who was known as Ishbosheth, all courage, okay, and all Israel became alarmed. Are we together? So now Saul's son and two men who were leaders of raiding bands had two men who were leaders of raiding bands. One was named Bana and the other one was known as Rechab. So they were always also doing raids. They were raiding other places, raiding. They were the sons of Rimmon, the Beerothite, from the tribe of Benjamin. Beeroth is considered part of Benjamin because the people of Beeroth fled to Gittaim and had resided there as foreigners to this day. So the Bible talks about the son of Jonathan, who was known as Jonathan, the son of Saul, had a son who was lame in both feet. He was 5 years old when he heard about Saul and Jonathan had come from Jezreel. His nurse picked him up and fled. But as he hurried to leave, he fell and became disabled. And his name was Mephibosheth. Now, Rechab and Bana, the sons of Rimmon, set out for the house of Ishbosheth. And they arrived there in the heat of the day while he was taking his noonday rest. This man was resting during the noon. They went into the inner part of the house as if to get some wheat, and they stabbed him in the stomach. Then Rechab and Bana slipped away. They had gone into the house while he was lying in his bed in his bedroom. After they stabbed and killed him, they cut off his head, taking it with them. They traveled all night by way of the Araba. I don't know what is Araba. I don't know. They brought the head of Ishbosheth to David at Hebron and said to the king, "Here is the head of Ishbosheth, the son of Saul, your enemy who tried to kill you. This day the Lord has avenged my lord the king against Saul and his offspring." David answered Rechab and his brother Bana, the sons of Rimmon, "As surely as the Lord lives, who has delivered me out of every trouble, when someone told me Saul is dead and thought he was bringing good news, I seized him and put him to death in Ziklag." So David heard that Saul was dead when he was in Ziklag. Now here, he was told he was in Hebron, the capital city of Judah, the tribe of Judah, and he was told that this man was dead, Ishbosheth was dead. So that was the reward I gave him for his news. How much more the wicked when men have killed an innocent man in his own house and on his own bed, and not now demand his blood for your hand and rid the earth for you. So David gave an order to have his men and to order his men, and they cut off their hands and feet and hung the bodies by the pool in Hebron. But they took the head of Ishbosheth and buried it in Abner's tomb in Hebron. That was 2 Samuel chapter 4. So here, Ishbosheth is now dead. Now we are starting. Now David becomes king over all Israel in 2 Samuel chapter 5. Before, as I've said, I'm gonna give you a chronological order of events. What happened in every part of the scripture, and I want us to have what is known as a forensic study of the scripture, so that we can know exactly what happened when, and also the towns. Because when you read the scripture, you have realized there's a town called Hebron, there's another town called Ziklag, there's another town. I want us also to know the geographical features of those areas and what they represent. Are we together? Once we have the terrain in our minds, then we'll be able to map the entire map of Israel, and also we will continue, um, reading and reading and reading, because when we were reading First Samuel, the town that was talked about most was the town called Ramah, and Samuel was born in the town called Ramah. So also when you're talking about Israel, and somebody asked me yesterday about what does Israel mean, then I said, okay, I want us also to have a clear picture of the towns, because every town, every man of God came from a particular town, came from a particular tribe, you know. So when you say Israel, it's too general. Are we together? So I want us to also read the scripture and do a forensic study of the scripture, and that way we will be able to know where something happened. Even if you are to travel to Israel, you will know that King Saul, was buried in a place called Jabesh Gilead. So even if you want to travel to Israel, you will know that Samuel most likely was buried in Ramah. Most likely. I don't know. I will read where he was buried. But I know that Joshua was buried in a border town, because where he came from was in a border town. Because when the king of the Philistines were returning the Ark of the Covenant, after they had stolen it, the people where Joshua came from were the ones who received the Ark of the Covenant. That place was called the Field of Joshua. Are we together? So we are reading the scripture and also mapping it out. We want to know where is where. We want to do a forensic analysis of the scripture, and that way we'll be able to grow not only in this scripture, but also we'll grow in knowledge. We'll also grow even if you want to visit Mount of Olives in. I know there are people who travel from Kenya to Israel every year. You know, once they go to Israel, they visit all these places that they were reading in the scripture. So how will you know where to visit if you have not read the scripture in the first place? So that is the first thing that we are going to do, reading the entire scripture. And also I hope we'll have the money and the energy to reread the scripture again. And I know it's gonna be a wonderful experience. And yeah. And I don't know if you like this channel. Let me know. If you feel that we are going in the right speed, kindly let me know. If you feel that you're being left behind, kindly let me know. I want to know if we are making any move, I want you guys to know the kind of moves we are making. Are we together? Yeah, if we are moving slowly, also let us know. I also want to bring creativity, flair to this channel. I want to make the process, it's a very tedious process, but I want to make the process as interesting as possible. I want to bring the joy back. I want to give people a reason why they should read the scripture again. You know, the people, the reason why I came to realize the reason why people are not reading the scripture is because the interest has not been sparked in them. They are not interested that much. Are we together? But I believe that it is our responsibility to keep people interested. Are we together? That's whatever I'm saying is very, very, very important. Because once I realize once people are not interested in something, then they're not going to do it all together. And you see something that can bring something that can add value in the lives of people. People are not even they withdrew. In fact, that is what we were taught on Sunday. That do not allow the spirit of withdrawing. You want to withdraw. If you are a leader or an aspiring leader, and you always withdraw from something, you start something, then you withdraw. You start a project, then you soon you withdraw. How will the vision be actualized? How will we achieve what we want to achieve if we are always withdrawing? And I thought that was a very good message, and I said that I'm going to share this message in this channel and to let all of you know the importance of consistency and the importance of sticking and not withdrawing until we have achieved what we are supposed to achieve. Are we together? Can we start 2 Samuel chapter 5? Now, Samuel chapter 5 talks about now David becomes king over all Israel. Don't go anywhere.